Hi, I'm Scott from Emtron Australia, and this is SEMA 2025. We've been coming here since 2013. It's very important for us to be here because USA is the mecca for motorsport, and we want to be able to show how good our product is to the best cars in the world in America. We've got the Ross Speed split ray, which we've been still working on developing in the last 12 months, and we've also got a nice engine display here, which is sort of showing the engine looms, some of the applications that our products used with. We've also got our existing products, KV8, SEL product range, the Shadow 8, which we released last year, which has got a Godzilla wiring harness, like plug and play kit for the Godzilla engine, which is very, very big in America. So we've kind of got to show what's focused towards American products when we're here. But the transmission control is a major factor. So we put a lot of effort into vehicle integration projects. Unfortunately, you are really stuck with the OEM manufacturer's implementation transmission control. So when you get quite wild with the upgrades, you start to find the weakness of those systems very, very quickly. We decided with one of our head engineers who's been working on this project for years in the background to put a big push to get that product out. It's a transmission control unit, fully standalone, and has the ability to control basically almost any transmission that's available at the moment. Kind of more than a full-blown ECU. So for the outputs, we have 16 solenoid control outputs, but they're closed loop control, current control outputs. Most ECUs, you're not even doing that. I would say the 8 HP is, at the moment, seems to be the most popular sort of aftermarket transmission to fit to some performance cars. There are solutions available now, usually some sort of CAN integration projects generally. From our experience, they're not really seamless with the ECU. So we can do pretty much whatever they want, what the CAN bus is required. The problem is that, and the torque reductions and so forth, but the problem is when you want to change the behavior of the transmission, it makes it a lot more difficult. When you do put a lot more power through, you still are relying on the factory programming. And of course there is other software available till there to program it, but ultimately we just decided that we want to be complete control of the transmission ourselves. And then we have our own protocol with communications between the ECU and the transmission, and that way, we control everything ultimately. Then it makes it much easier to get the result you want. Currently we have a very small handful of base files that we've been working on. The 8 HP is one, DSG transmissions for European VW, that type of thing. Those, at the moment, they're at a point of moderate refinement. I would dare say another couple of months worth of refinement for our base files would be probably the sweet spot for us to be able to supply it to a customer where they can plug it in or wire it into the transmission. And the ECU, we've obviously put a lot of work into making sure the communications dialed right in. And then you'll just use the base files with our torque management system for torque reductions, throttle blipping and that sort of stuff. It will be kind of turnkey based on that, especially if the transmission's factory. As time goes on, we'll be looking at putting more effort into more highly modified versions of the base files. The goal will be yes, it's flexible, you can do almost anything you want to with it, but we understand that it's in the infancy of the tuning world where people are going to take a while to understand how to calibrate these systems properly. It's very important for us to be able to supply good base files for those transmissions. There's older model trends like 4L80s and things like that. Those files will be very, very easy, I think, for people to calibrate. The more modern DSG, 8 HP, that's going to be a little bit more fussier for people to get involved with. So the software it's fully open, so it will be downloadable probably in about 2 or 3 weeks online. Before we've just got to do some more refinements to that before we're ready to release it. It's very similar to the Emtron and our Envision. It's using a little bit different development package than we have for our other products. It's quite comprehensive. Data logging is on board as well. You'll be able to do data logging straight to the transmission. Very much like the ECU software, you have 3D tables. You'll recognize it pretty easily. Okay, so this is our adapter to suit the TM16 to R35 GTR. It's plug and play. Ultimately, when shipped with the adapter, it will be preloaded with a base calibration to suit a stock R35 GTR, regardless of what ECU you have. It could be like Emtron plug-in ECU, could be a factory, it could be some other aftermarket. As long as they're gold towards running the factory transmission, it will just work like as if you didn't even know any difference. Except in this case, it's fully programmable, fully adjustable. The benefit of it is that if you have like a drag race car, something you might want to do some sort of bump in arrangement. Previously, kind of needed some sort of canned hacks or something like that, or somehow come in and sort of hack into the car's wiring loom and sort of interrupt it, if you will. Now you can just like literally just control it from the transmission from the computer. I would dare say circuit racing would be one thing as well. If you have like a very high performance street car, they're quite difficult to kind of get them dialed in, driving nicely. With the ECU, previously we would be doing some sort of bit of can hacking to optimize the transmission on the fly easily. Of course, there is software available where you can flash the factory transmission computer. That has its own issues as well, and you still are stuck with some Nissan strategies in there. Because it's so flexible now, you can kind of like come up with your own, within reason of course, but you can pretty much do what you want. So you have a lot more flexibility. And with the CAN bus, with the ECU, we would be more likely sort of telling you to keep that like a factory. So don't go hacking it and changing it. If you want to make your change, plug into the TCM and go. And remember, it's live as well, so you have like the flexibility there sort of on the fly. So you'll see like, the plots live, and you'll be able to really get a good idea of how it's performing. Yeah. R35 owners will be able to take pre-orders for them at GTR Festival USA, November 14 to November 16. We've also got data sheets online, so you can read the specs and everything on it. When we release the software online, you'll be able to freely download it and look at it, and we'll have some base files available for people to look at. We're looking at delivery about April 2026. Now, when I say April 2026, I mean it will be before April 2026, hopefully, but it will certainly not be after that. So we've left it a little bit wider, time frame that we're expecting to make sure. And then within that period, we'll be doing quite a lot of rapid updating on the software and firmware package as well. And that will include refining the base R35 package, and 8HP will be one of them, and some DSG files for various models. We are doing some field calibrations with some of our key dealers as well. So it's important for us that the moment that the customer receives their package, it will be quite highly refined by then.